Well, my friend, welcome to another very special YouTube video. Um, Today we are the 31st, and the dramatic news are pouring all over the place due to that SOS to the world plutonic window, which is definitely creating a lot of wake-up calls and a lot of problems. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to ask you to be ready for what I'm going to divulge next. Um, One of my supporters asked me to give her some information about the two firefighters who were lost at sea in Florida. She happens to be friends with one of the wife of the firefighters, and obviously they didn't know what's going on. So this is astrophorensic at best. It's a mixture of what Draco is telling me and a mixture of my finding looking at the UCI, or the unique celestial identity of those two men. And you can see both of them were born in January into the sign of Capricorn. And this depicts, of course, why both of them, as Capricorn rules the government in large structure, wanted to work for their city, for the government, and so forth. That's a given. So if you're a Capricorn, go to drturi.com and click on Capricorn at the top right and see more or less what the Capricorn is all about. Now, you know what? You certainly are not going to be ready for what I'm going to tell you. First of all, my heart goes to the family of those two courageous guys. But I wish I could tell you what you want to hear. And the boat sank and they disappeared, and then that was it. The sad reality is there's a hell of a lot of drugs and alcohol involved in that situation. And I'm not going to say who, but I know exactly who lured the other one into the fishing trip because he was suicidal. So in other words, one of the firefighter lured the other one. An argument or a fight took place on that little boat. One killed the other one, and then to make sure that the evidences did not survive. So they did find something, one of the guys, but that didn't help anyone to know more about the situation, to what really transpired on that trip. When they disappeared in August, the moon was in Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules water, oceans, boating. Neptune rules also drugs and alcohol and deception, including suicidal thoughts. Remember, both of those guys were born in January, Capricorn. Currently, the tail of the dragon is in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the government, or what's happening with the government, going totally berserk. You have the worst energy you can get in the structure of our government. And this is why our president today is getting his own wake-up call about impeachment. This is serious. Now, the world is not ready to really digest forensic astrology, or let alone me talking to an extraterrestrial through my subconscious. But that's the sad reality. I wish I had better news for the friends, the parents, the family members of those two victims, but one of them was completely reptilian. In fact, it's very depressed. And only those who knew those people could tell you if there were drugs or alcohol noticeable in their daily lives. So that is my finding, and I'm very sorry, but I cannot lie. And you should not expect less than the truth from Dr. Turi. So here we are, my friend. Now, the title of this newsletter is SOS to the World, in November 2019. You have been warned by Dr. Turi. Very, very important, critical newsletter that you must read. Again, you digest much more information when you read. So, as you know, those windows always induce earthquakes at 6.0 or above. And again, we had one on the 29, 6.6 in the Philippines, and we had another one today in the Philippines at 6.5. So again, there is no denying the values of my work and why you should trust my findings, not only about earthquake, but sad enough about the development of those two firefighters lost at sea. Wish I had a better news, but that's what it is. Now, the current SOS to the world set for October 28th is still operational, and it's definitely offering secrets. Not only what I just mentioned, which is pretty dramatic, but also the police makes the news, and they found the 200 million of meth hidden inside the Sri Lanka ball. So there is also dramatic news, like the sheriff calls a woman's murder worst case he has ever seen, and serious wake-up calls, not only for the president of the United States, my friend, but for us all. So, and with it, during those very nasty, deadly windows, a very serious, abnormal upsurge of death and drama. Or, again, today in the news, 70 people died after an explosion sparks a fire on a train. Remember my predictions, God, nowhere to stop fires. Well, so let's look at the news that represent this SOS to the world window, and look at the news with your third eye outside of your five logical, rational mind, and then being upset, being disgusted, and forget about it. There is much more behind what creates the news. And these are the cosmic winds which are constantly bombarding the earth. And of course, those winds are manipulated by the nefarious reptilians who depress people, who kill people, who addict people. And then, of course, the draconians who are doing their best to help us to survive. So let's look at the first news. Dozens stung by stingrays at popular beach in one day. When is the last time you heard that on a popular beach? In one day, the dozens of people get stung by stingray. Do you remember the video I made a couple of days ago? This old lady being mauled to death by a bunch of wild dog. This guy being hurt by a bison. A little girl being killed by a pit bull. This guy's lion's friends killed him. And all sorts of animals getting berserk during this trend, and that doesn't changes with stingrays. They are part of the animal kingdom, ruled by Mars, the lord of war, the lord of anything that's sharp and hurt. You can use this scalpel to remove a cancer, okay, tumor that is the draconis helping the scientists, and then you have someone crazy getting a knife to kill you for $1. That's what it is. Use objectivity. It's all about polarity, positive and negative energies that's commanding our existence on this planet and other level of consciousness. What else do we have? 70 dead after explosion sparks fire on train. Again, that is definitely abnormal and reflect the nasty, nasty plutonic window that I prepared you so many times before. What else? Sheriff calls woman murder worst case he has ever seen. I mean, obviously, this poor woman, she landed on a reptilian infected bastards. The guy was doing drugs or alcohol, and instead of setting her free to start a new life, he decided to kill her. That's what you get. Pretty nasty, you know. So be careful. A lot of people are suffering. And are victimized by those entities that hijack their body, their mind, and their soul. Next thing you know, they kill others and they kill themselves. Reality. This is a reality show, okay? But it's not a show. It's actually a wake-up call for you to realize I know what I'm talking about, and you need to pay attention, and most of all, share my work. Wedding photos shoot goes viral after tied ruins bride's dress. Who the hell wants to get married? Use omens. I would rather have beautiful birds, beautiful scenery, beautiful greenery, a lot of happy people than the freaking ocean trying to swallow me and my bride alive. That tells you the type of energy that those people decide to to connect, to get married. That's stupidity. You don't get married after the full moon during one of my SOS to the world deadly window. Someone is going to die. And that you could see these waves being an omen of what's going to happen to these guys. Of course, the rational, the logical, the atheist, the agnostic, the educated idiots, it's just a wave. It happen all the time. Yes, it happened the time also when you have a bunch of people that crashes because there's too many people and everything goes down. That tells you the energy that I'm talking about are real, and you should pay attention. Don't get married. Don't sign a contract. Don't go on holiday when you feel like. Watch the signs. Join the Cosmic Code. And 9,000 people. What else do we have? Principal who told parent he could not say Holocaust happened is fired. Another idiot, like, David Icke, telling that Holocaust didn't happen. Sandy Hook did not happen. 9/11, which I predicted in great detail, is fabricated. We've never been on the moon. The moon is hollow. There is ETs on the moon or in Antarctica. Jesus, people. Well, there's a lot of people who should be fired for infecting other people with idiocy, with their fear, and with an uncontrolled imagination because they don't have cosmic consciousness. Breaking New YC, New York Hospital, I believe. Medical examiner reject claim Jeffrey Epstein was killed. That's the first thing I told you. This sucker was killed. He was killed, and he deserves to be killed because what he did to all these children. There is a very, very powerful and real rules in jail. If you are a child molester, your chance of surviving are zero. Because every one of these suckers out there think themselves being God, and they're all infected. It's an excuse to kill someone else. Okay, so Epstein was strangled and he was killed by one of the mates out there. But you know what? The medical examiner, egocentric attitude, knows better because he doesn't know better. That's what it comes down to it. Student called the teen suicide hotline listed on their ID cards. It was a sex hotline instead. That happened only during the SOS to the world Plutonic deadly window, where the keyword sex and mob is definitely there for you to digest and realize I know what I'm talking about. There's no accident. Dog the Bounty Hunter pays tribute to his late wife on her birthday. God bless us all. Famous death. That's just definitely what it is. This guy and his wife were loaded with plutonic energy, so all they did all their life is to fight the criminal element because they were led by the Draconis to do their part in cleaning this infested world. Evangelical leaders gathered to pray for Trump at White House blasting impeachment effort. What a bunch of idiots. None of this evangelical understand the face of the tools of God. None of those evangelical, much like the Pope Francis, or the Dalai Lama for that, are able to read the signs. Accept the fact that I'm throwing at your face. You're going to hate me for that. You're going to call me an egocentric. So be it, but at least get the undiluted truth. Those who are the closest representative of God on this planet should know all about Jesus' initial cosmic ministry speaking to us through the sign which I translate every single day for you for free. No, unless you speak God cosmic language, unless you build enough cosmic consciousness, my friend, you are not going to have your prayer being heard or answered. On top of that, you have to be also aware that you were made in the image of God. You like it or not, you have the essence of creation within yourself, because there is no difference between two images. So do not separate yourself from God and the power of creation, because that's what you were born to do. Okay? Remember, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain, positive, negative, man, woman, up and down, black, white, reptilians, draconis. It's all about polarity, my friends. Yes, extraterrestrials are hanging around in Antarctica, and I'll let you know why once you watch my slideshow. In fact, I'm going to be going now very soon on the 3rd of November. I'll be in San Diego. And those who will attend that UFO show are going to be shocked. They're not going to be listening or hearing things that they have heard forever. No, they're going to hear the fact coming from Draco. And if they don't believe in the fact of Draco, then I will prove to them that Draco is real right then, right there. Yes, I will. I will allow them to see the manifestation of Draco like I did on that ship and shock people of the reality of Draco. Because all those extraterrestrials can only communicate to us, or the majority of time communicate with us using telepathy. Okay, and they will, like they did for me and for Travis Walton for that matter, they will use some specific unique cosmic winds to come on this dense physical world safely and for very specific purpose. In the case of Travis, it was an accident because he was not invited. Being an Aries is just jump out of the car and go on the flying saucer. Next thing you know, you get electrified, electrocuted. I would explain all that. I have his chart. I have his UCI. See, I would explain all that. Not only him, I would explain the stars of Richard Darland, which is a very nice guy, a good friend of mine. I'm glad I got to meet him. My breakfast table. I have the chart of a lot of UFO speakers, the top ones, and I will point out their strengths and weaknesses because astroforensic is real and Draco is even more real. So there we go. Let's have fun. Okay, not only on the one in San Diego, but the one I'm going to be doing in the future in 2020 and 2021, because now my career is finally picking up. I started this career in 1991, but I had cancer, so I couldn't go and speak anymore. And then that gave a lot of power to my enemies who removed me from everywhere, from Facebook, from Wikipedia, from LinkedIn, and all major websites that I used to write for. So I'm back, I'm born again. Yes, it's my time. So now, this being said, my friend, one more time, okay? Remember, I made a very, very specific predictions about President Trump. What happened to him today is not an accident. Today, President Trump is is one of his 2019 negative cosmic biorhythm. There is no accident. It's all mathematics. It's already preset. It's already written in the universal mind. What's happening? It's all mathematics. That's why I use a software to translate it for you with Draco to help me. So it's not an accident for President Trump to get his wake-up call today, and all the people that support him, of course. I don't care if you support him or don't. Remember, my work has nothing to do with politics. I got to say it as it is. I cannot make up words. That's the only words I know in English, unless you speak French. Okay, now, this is what my quatrain says. Blooming flower mid-month of June. If you recall, in June, President Trump have had some serious trouble. And then I say, I see December. That's 2 months from now. Okay, I wrote that on April the 10th, 2018, my friend. That's when I wrote that. Okay, so I said blooming flowers mid-month of June. I see December. That's a very specific timing to tell you what's going to happen to our president. Cosmic God may spare humanity. In other words, the Draconians are going to be able to beat an infected leader like President Trump, which has no clue that he's infected and is infecting everything else by promoting chaos and war and separatism and the legacy that we're going to suffer within the next 2 years. You remember me? You say, oh my gosh, he was right. Do you think that's over? Pose is just the tip of the iceberg to what's ahead of us. That's why you should put your hand on my forecast for 2020. Hitler, famous infected spirit to die. When I say to die, I'm not using the word death. It's hypothetically speaking, he will die. In other words, he will be removed. Okay, world rejoice. The majority of the world, our friends, in foreign ground will rejoice. Infected souls will cry. Those who have fear, those who are supporting all negativities, all who are afraid of being invaded by foreigners will cry. That's, I mean, I cannot be more honest, more direct, more translucent for you not to realize that this quatrain speaks the truth. We're going to see more in December, right? So just remember, I mean, go to the future. That's my gift or my curse or whatever it is. President Trump is a human being. It's like you, he's like me. Okay? Same blood in his veins, but he's computerized as a Gemini to shine through his words. Okay? That's what it is. Wherever you have Leo in your chart, that's where God wants you to shine. Okay, he was born in June, July, August, third house, communication, word, printed or spoken, even reading books. This is how God wants you to shine, through his words, spoken or printed. But when they are negative, wait a minute here, is a Leo in the third house that is controlled by the sun, or force number one used by the Draconis. He's not being positive. He's being negative. If he changes God, he doesn't even apologize. His ego is bigger than the planet. He's spoiled like hell. He never doesn't know what it is to suffer, to live check by check. That is his lesson in his lifetime. There's nothing to say bad about president. He's a human being, but he's cosmic and conscious, and he's relying on his own daughter to guide him when he should have people like me. He was born with the tail of the dragon, very, very negative, into the sign of Sagittarius that rules anything and everything that were with foreigners, foreign land, the law, and the biblical, the religion. My friend, it's just his stars. And when you put such a powerful guy, the most powerful man on the planet, on the pedestal, or give him the office of the president in the United States, then the rest of the world now has to suffer his idiosyncrasy or his stars. I'm not blaming him. I'm not taking side. I'm asking you to not to lose the entire pictures or the forest, looking at a tree, and let your fears and your negativity, your insecurity take over. You know, there is only one good man on the planet, Socrates says. That's us all. Because all is that, and that is all. Nobody is better than anybody else. And all road leads to Rome. I don't know better than anybody else. I have my truth. If it vibrates like yours, you resonate to it and you'll follow it and you'll share it. Most of all, you'll help me if you remotely feel that I have something real. Because when everything happened in time and space, maybe it'd be a little bit too late. You should have participated a little bit before. Help me now. Another one that is undeniable. German Viking skin alike. That was written, I can't even remember. Black and white, red blood, fire, war, violence, passion, rules. God nowhere to stop fire. Hitler, evil spirit reborn. This is how I start my new 2020 Nostradamus personal and universal dragon forecast. Jesus, I was on Coast to Coast a few weeks ago. And that's what I said. Be ready for fire and wildlife to be destroyed. Next thing you know, extremely critical fire weather will continue Thursday in Southern California. Something or somebody is right. Anti. What else do I have to do? Dance on my head? No. I can do anything I want. It's not going to work. It's only when the student is ready that the teacher will appear. And you're not here watching me by accident. Remember, there's only two forces, the light or darkness. Now, which one are you going to stimulate, maintain, promote for the rest of your life? Are you going to be loving, creative, intelligent, curious, dignified? Are you going to be respectful? Are you going to be a superhuman, or are you going to give in and slave for the reptilians every chance you get and get depressed and miserable and have every single thing that you want going through your fingers instead of catching it? Remember, magnet will attract a piece of wood, my friend. You are what you will become. You'll become what you are. Be cautious. The future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. You got to pay attention and realize the depth of this sentence. Make it a prayer. My future is nothing else than the reincarnation of my thoughts. I dedicate my thought for the light, for God, for Jesus' initial cosmic ministry, for supreme cosmic wisdom, for God. Like I do. And then you're going to grow, because that's the law. That's universal laws. You got a choice to make. Most of all, and I will never tell you enough, my friend, be part of the solution. There are a lot of people out there that are depressed, that are very negative, that are lost, religious fanatics or scientific atheists, totally remote from the reality to what's going on, to the secret to what it means to be human. You are a golden open doors to these people. Let them to my YouTube videos. Do your part to make this world a better place to be for us all. All right, my good friend. You like what I said? You resonate to what I said? I'm sure you're going to like what you're going to read when you click on the link. Thumb up, like Dr. Turi. Love you guys. Make it a beautiful day. Be careful. Okay, the next SOS to the world promises to be very, very special. All right. Talk to you then.